Hello gold farmers, welcome to another gold nut farming video. Today we'll be taking a look at one of my cobalt ore farming locations here in Borean Tundra. This route takes roughly 10 minutes to complete. It's a fairly large route, but you can get roughly 60 to 80 of the cobalt ore per hour, or per lap, which is pretty nice considering cobalt ore is actually pretty difficult to kind of get a hold of. And it's not really necessarily difficult to get a hold of, but you can't really get as much of it like you can your Starnite or any of your other decently common ores. It's kind of like fel iron and obsidian. They're decently common, but if you don't have a decent route, then you're not going to be collecting a whole lot per hour, making it a little difficult to make a decent amount of gold off of them. So for this route, it is fairly elongated, and for those who aren't really too big on large routes, I wouldn't recommend this one. I do have a couple of others. You've got this one down here, then I've got two more here in Howling Fjord, then I've also got one in Grizzly Hills. Those are all pretty short routes for cobalt ore, although I do like this route for the fact that not many people really run over it, so you have a little bit higher chance of getting a decent amount of ore. As far as all of that goes, I do recommend just kind of either smelting this ore or turning it into bars, or selling it raw. Mostly because, one, it sells for about 43 gold per unit, which is really nice. On my server it is pretty cheap. The reason why it's expensive is because it is used for the engineering mount that can be crafted. It uses cobalt bolts, which those you can also craft and make a little bit of gold off of those too if you want to. So it just kind of all depends. If I remember correctly, it takes 1 bar to craft 1 to 2 bolts. I could be wrong on that, but I do believe it was something pretty close to that. The bolts themselves sell for a decent amount of gold too, and if you are into shuffles, you can try that one out, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend that shuffle unless if you have patience to wait for your items to sell, because that's not really a very common material looked for in the auction house, so it doesn't sell very quickly. Cobalt, on the other hand, does sell decently quick because it is used for several different things, but the most common one is for that engineering mount. You can also look into trying to get the engineering mount if you're an engineer and farm a bunch of your cobalt yourself, so that way you don't have to buy it off the auction house. That will be all. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.